Free audiobook. Free audiobook. I started reading it. I went up to. I went up to. I remember before. I went up to Glasgow and I was a wee bit early, so I stopped in Abington and read it. I just sat there eating my little Burger King and read some of this, and I got about that far. And I was just skimming through a few of the pages there, and I saw the words ballet, so it was quite interesting. Um, that so free audiobook, how do you do this without? So that's the thing. There's no music, is there? And if Beethoven used to take walks carrying blank pages of sheet music and a pencil. The Romantic poet William Wordsworth used to write as he took walks around the lake where he lived. Ancient Greek philosophers like Aristotle would lecture their students while taking long walks with them, often working out their ideas at the same time. 2,000 years later, the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche would say, "It is only ideas gained from walking that have any worth." Einstein refined many of his theories about the universe while walking around the Princeton University campus. The writer Henry David Thoreau would say, "The moment my legs begin to move, my thoughts begin to flow." And that's right. There are some pretty impressive people who saw the power of creating time and space in their everyday lives to take a walk. But you don't need to be a genius or a prodigy for walking to be useful or transformative. There is a lot of evidence for the power of taking a walk to increase. This is better than reading Robbie Williams' book. I mean, what's Robbie Williams done? I saw incidentally, right? I saw Robbie Williams short, and it was like he was talking about, go and take a walk. Do I really need this information from you? You're hardly like Mr. Top Athlete, and and you're not even. I've nothing against them, but stay in your lane, son. Fine, you've done the 12 steps and you're recovering, you're good, cool, but, I mean, there's a lot, anyway. Creativity, inspire new ideas and change people's lives, whoever they are. A 2014 study by researchers at Stanford University showed that walking increased the creative thinking of 100% of the study participants who were asked to walk while completing a series of creative tasks. There is a ton of anecdotal evidence as well. Do a quick Google search for the words walk and change, and you will see an avalanche of articles with titles like "How Taking a Walk Changed My Life." They're written by all sorts of people, men and women, young and old, fit and out of shape, students and professionals. American, Indian, African, European, Asian, you name it. And as we just pass, it's really quite nice. As a guy's out walking his dog there. That's quite nice, isn't it? So, I think people are waking up to... No, they're waking up to it. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? But Arnie says it, so it's true. I was watching a video today, incidentally, right? Watch a video talking about, like, the only thing that's more... The only thing that people hate more than the truth is the person telling it. How true is that? I've said tons of shit, and folk didn't like it. They want to shut you up because it's like a big bish. They didn't like that. The person, I mean, how naive are they? The person that they least expected to puncture through their facade of bullshit was me. It's like, well, why are you surprised? The person that they want to shut up as a person. Why is it the folk that talk bullshit, that talk all the time? That kind of shit, but I thought that was quite motivating. And of course, that was a wonderful augmentation, listening to that YouTube video as I was out in the garden, working away. It was really quite nice, beautiful soundtrack to what I was doing. I thought, well, this guy gets it, It's great, innit? Like, folk criticise, obviously there's too much information out there, isn't there? But I think it's a beautiful thing. Like, you can literally be working outdoors, you know, and not having any dickhead telling you what to do all the whole time. As Arnie says, you know, you just get in your own thoughts, and you know, and your mind can soar a bit like Prince Harry. Mind when Diana died, right? And they were like, and that guy did the speech at the funeral, you know, Black Swans and all that, and he said, yes, so their heart can soar, so their heart can speak, you know, and whatever. And it soared a little bit too much. That was an interesting one, wasn't it? We're getting off topic here with the Diana thing, right? And I was saying, you're not going to get anything, the truth in with the truth in a mainstream on a film on Netflix, are you? I mean, where's we're living in such a controlled society, you know. You're not going to get a movie or a documentary on Netflix. Even YouTube now is heavily censored. I remember years ago watching a documentary saying that the Diana was murdered, and it went into lots of detail, backed up by evidence, you know, from this author's perspective. And he was talking about the whole, how it was basically they took out Diana, they killed her. So if you're not gonna, I don't think that's even available now on YouTube. Just like all the 9/11 when it was an inside job videos, all you get is some watered down thing. If you were to look on Netflix or any of the platforms, you know, you're not gonna get anything. I mean, you're not gonna get any serious attempt at an alternative explanation, are you? You're just gonna get, you know. But anyway, the Diana thing was interesting because it was they were saying about, it was because we were talking about this, and then she put on the Diana Spencer thing, and I thought it's quite good because it actually did have a conspiratorial. It was a subtext. It's like that, you know. Maybe, you know, it's like saying that she was scared of a nod to the conspiracy thing, you know, because it said about she opened the book, Anne Boleyn, Henry's wife, that his head's wife, he chopped off, and it was like, you're not, and she's thinking, is that going to be me? Are they going to chop my head off? And indeed, because the royals have had a whole history of bumping each other off, so that's why the conspiracy thing was Diana killed in that accident. Well, that was a little nod to that, wasn't it? But anyway, we're getting back to going for a walk helped them change their routines and their habits. That's what I said. See, great minds think alike. You see, I've said you've got to break up the routine. You can't just be... You can also have... See, I'd just like to add to the discussion here, and we've not even got into it in any depth yet, but I just think you can have, you know, me time, kind of get out of your way, meditation overload. That's a danger as well. You know, everything in moderation, including moderation, but you can have too much time, you know, to the point where you start to feel like you're going a bit mad, a bit like Diana, because she was all alone, wasn't she? She didn't fucking appreciate that fucking situation. Fucking disgrace. Nah, but you know what I mean? But anyway, it helped them shake loose solutions to tricky problems. It helped them to process trauma and make big life decisions. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. If I can just take it back to myself. Not like to talk about myself, but nah, anyway. Same thing, innit? What did I do? Bad relates. Remember saying about life story? Well, I'm not even scratching the surface, but back in 2000 and X moves abroad, forced relationship breakup, and like, it was good. It was actually good because I went on and I was like, I can't be sitting around depressed, and I've got to actually do something with my life and do some things that actually this person was stopping me doing. Really, not like literally stopping me, but I gave up all my creative exploits, and then she fucked off abroad, and then it was like, right, I can get back on track, and then the rest was history, because I did I did some cool stuff, which I've spoke about before. So, you know what I mean? It's like, what was that? In what way was that related to what I was just talking about? Anyway, going for a walk. It was the bit about him saying, make life decisions. Yeah, make life decisions. So she fucked off, and I had all this alone time. And I was like, I watched the Michelangelo Beto thing, stuff like that, and you watch it and you go, right, he's saying, get in the game. That's what he said. So it's we mash up this, isn't it? All these great motivational speakers. So it's Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Michelangelo Beto, because he goes, get in the game. If you want to fly with the Eagles, don't hang around with turkeys, that kind of thing. So I was watching this guitar clinic, the guy that taught Rage Against the Machines guitarist, shred guitar, electric guitar legend from the 80s and 90s to some extent. And I watched his documentary, and he was basically talking to me, a bit like in Braveheart when he talks to me through the screen. And then he talked to me, Michelangelo Beto spoke to me through the screen, and he said, get in the game. You know, it's the greatest motivational 2 hours of anything I'd ever seen. You know, and the clarity, that's what this is saying there, life decisions. What are you going to do? Are you going to pursue a life of doing stuff you enjoy and try and cultivate a kind of life where you're living your life in a fun, you know? It's either working behind a desk and wanting to shoot yourself in the head, or do a job that's physical. So again, she fucked off, and then I got clarity because I had time and space on my own, and heal from all that narcissistic abuse. And then I was able to plan out and have the clarity and space to breathe and go, right, let's get back into doing. And then, you know, I did all the cycle stuff and some of the film stuff as well, so it's really quite nice. And I don't, you know, so it's all good, isn't it? You get that clarity that you don't get. You kind of make life decisions when you're making day to day, you're going out with a crazy person, and you're just having to make life decisions minute by minute and day by day and everything, just to, how do I know, chop this person's head off and keep my sanity. That's not really a great, that kind of relationship isn't conducive, is it, to the artistic endeavour, really, is it? So we made some life decisions, and we're still making some life decisions, so that's really quite nice, isn't it? It helped them shake loose solutions to tricky problems. It helped them to process trauma and make big life decisions. Exactly. I'm the greatest. I'm the king of art therapy, so I've processed the trauma. So when somebody comes at me with bullshit, I go, right, didn't have time for your shit, because that's the very shit that caused my mental health issues in the first place. So come at me, don't be an arsehole, or fuck off, you know. And all that time, obviously, in the bike, you know, like Jesus on a bike can, going into the wilderness or something like that, you know. You go off and you get the clarity, and you go, right, I know what it's like to feel clear-headed and nice. So if any person comes and punctures that bubble, then they can fuck off. That kind of the clarity, you see, because, you know, if the bike is kind of like a, you know, the bike is setting the standard, isn't it? Because the bike is saying, right, have a beautiful day out in paradise here with my bike. So if any human can't measure up to that, then fuck off, you know. A woman should be like a bike, really, isn't it? You know, be a good ride, can keep the rubber on the road and you know, all that. For an Australian man named Jono Lineen, it did all those things. When he was 30, decided to walk the entire length of the Western Let's skim this, because I don't want to read it verbatim, because I want to interact with it, can make it actually interesting, you know, and maybe interesting for the reader and viewer if anyone actually watched this. You see, it's all about entertainment, isn't it? He decided to walk the entire length of the Western Himalayas, nearly 1,700 miles, solo. Right, the first ever to ever do it alone. It was a test for himself. So it was like, fuck it, what anyone else thinks. I'm doing this for myself, you know. And if anyone wants to appreciate that, fine, but I didn't really give a fuck, so whatever, you know, you can say to me all you want, you can say, oh, there's always one, or well, there's always one to be a glowing light of inspiration in the face of adversity. Thanks very much. Is that what you meant by that? Stuff like that, you know. The clarity, see what I mean, the clarity of mind, the focus of mind that the solo athletic performance helps to cultivate a good one, of which something like that, you know. For months he walked up to 25 miles a day with nothing but this is this you're witnessing. This is the resurgent. This is me trying to get to the resurgent. You know, Dave Mark 4. I've talked enough about this, right? But I think it's time to be. What are we going to do now? You know, so this is going to help hopefully catapult and catalyze the whole thing into the next stage. You know. So you're witness to that. Do you feel quite privileged? Put your comments in below. For months he walked up to 25 miles a day with nothing but his thoughts on the massively beautiful Himalayas all around him. He couldn't escape either of them. Eventually he had a breakthrough. He wasn't there to test himself, he was there to fix himself. Exactly. As my sister said once, she goes, it's basically like, you know, what do they call it? Medical... self-medicating, sort of like that, you know. That's what don't you find that in things, right? You have an idea about what you're going to do with something, and then you find out, look like a relationship, you have an idea about what I want out of this and what this is going to do for me, and and then you get into it and you go, oh, this is a whole new world, oh, na 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 na, you know, like Peter Andre and Hingaby, you know. It becomes like a whole new world. It's a bit like that with the cycling. You go into it with a certain, you go, I didn't realise. I actually emulated Arnold Schwarzenegger, didn't I? Because I did all the cycling stuff, and it built me up as a man. And then I was like, everywhere I walk, I feel like I'm living and walking a movie. And then I did the Outlaw King, the toughest movie gig that you could ever wish to do as anybody. And I actually completed it, and then did some other stuff. So I sort of emulated that in my own small way. So that's really quite nice, isn't it? You know, so, you know, in that sense, I think the cycling sort of, it wasn't you looked at it as a test, but then you come out the other side going, oh, I actually feel like that built me up and it healed me. And you don't actually looking back and go, yeah, I was traumatized to fuck. I was depressed. I was traumatized, you know, terrible upbringing, death of a father at the age of 15, church, the abuse through the church, then a fucking narcissistic 7-year relationship and all that. So you go, I think I had a lot to heal, but look at me now, I'm just so healed. Isn't it really what a glorious success story I am, you know. I'm just so proud of myself, you know. I came to realise that what I was actually doing there in the mountains was coming to terms with the death of my younger brother. There you go. So coming to terms with using exercise to heal. And you can use things in a number of ways. I don't think it was just as a tool for healing. It was also many other things, and it catapulted me to do some of my extracurricular activities and to actually sort my life out. Because as Graham Abbree said, your life is the most important thing, isn't it? Your life is the most important thing. It's not what you do in your life. Your life's the most important thing. So if you use the cycling and the athletic stuff to sort your life out, well, that's a glorious success story. Fuck the achievements. The achievement is that the cycling sorted the life out. So, you know what I mean? It's like multiple... I think that's a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's a bit like the creative thing. It has multiple benefits, just like the athletic thing. And there's crossover and a feedback loop. But this one positively affects that, and then that one positively affects it backwards in another way. And then at a certain point, a bit like what they say in a relationship, I don't know where you end and where I start, you know what I mean? I become the thing, and it becomes me. And then all the different things inform and help each other until all areas of your life improve, a bit like what Michelangelo Beatty said, you know? And I might return to this in the next episode.